Hi, it's PAVVEL with another massive tutorial. This time we're making a kind of screamy Moombah type dubsteppy thing. I've called it a Skrillex scream. I don't really know why. It's kind of just the first thing that sprung to my head, but this is kind of used. Dr. P, lots of people have kind of been using this sound. Anyway, the sound is this. Sort of can be used for short notes, or we can play with the vibrato here as well, so we get like that. So it's a pretty cool sound. Like I said, I don't know if Skrillex was the perfect thing to name it, but that's what I did, so there we go. Anyway, let's start with a new sound and we'll deconstruct or remake how I done this. So the first oscillator, we're going to stick a chrome on, if I can find it. Yep, there, and we're going to set this to bend minus plus. It's important we do that. And the wavetable position is around about 10 o'clock. The intensity is just a bit after that, just about 11 o'clock, and the amp all the way over to the right, and we're going to pitch it down 1 octave to minus 12. On the second oscillator, we're going to keep the square saw 1. Very important here to stick that onto a formant. Leave the wavetable position all the way over to the left, the intensity all the way over to the right, as well as the amp, and pitch that down 24, like that. And then for oscillator 3, we're going to stick an AI on, and we're going to take the wavetable position to just after 9, the intensity to the same, and the amp just before 3 o'clock. And we're also going to pitch that down 24, just like that, so 2 octaves. For the modulation oscillator, we're going to pitch it down 1 octave minus 12, and we're going to set the phase of the third oscillator just up a little bit, and we can play around with that. The noise, all we're going to do is leave it on a white noise and take the colour all the way over to the right. No feedback, no inserts. We set that up to there, and the mix all the way up to 1, because we're just going to be using one filter, which will be the scream filter. And we'll take the cut off all the way over to the right, and the scream filter, the scream option just before about 11 o'clock, and the resonance just take off the bottom just a tad, not too much. And the next thing we need to do is set up the envelopes that we're going to control the oscillators and the filters with. So firstly, for envelope 2, we're going to set the attack all the way down, leave the level all the way over to the right. The decay, this one's quite important, we're going to set to around about 8 o'clock. The level here all the way to the left, the S loop in the middle, morph all the way to the left, level here all the way to the right, it doesn't really matter though, and the release to just before 9 o'clock. And for envelope 4, all we're going to do is set the level all the way up to the top there and nothing else, because we're not really going to use that terribly. But yeah, so anyway, we're going to take envelope 2 and stick it on the oscillator 1 wavetable and take that up about that much, so it's nearly 3 o'clock. And again, take the envelope 2 and stick it on the intensity of oscillator 1, take it all the way to the top. Next, for oscillator 2, we're going to stick it on the intensity and take it all the way back. And then again for oscillator 3, we're going to pop it on the wavetable and take it up just so it's, I'll actually take that up a little bit, and then we'll pop it so it's just kind of before the end of position there. And the intensity, can I kind of do the same thing on that as well, so take that up just after the Y, like that. And then we're also going to pop it on the filter, the screen filter, and take it all the way back. So now we've got something like this. Next thing is just setting our effects to give it that little special touch. But obviously, like I always say, you can do what you like with anything, but with the effects especially, it's very selective to your track. So you know, use them wisely. Anyway, with the Brawner 2, we're going to stick on FX1 and leave them all up to the middle, and then we're just going to stick a dimension expander on, because we always do. Not much though, just a tiny bit of size. And the EQ, we'll take the low shelf up a bit, the high shelf up. We'll take the frequency back a little bit. So now we've got this. So that's kind of given us the punch that we needed on the sound. So that's kind of the main bits of the sound really. There's not a lot else we need to do. We can actually stick the unison to 2. Going up any further than that kind of destroys it a bit. So yeah, 2 at the most really. And then a couple of macros that we can assign, which are going to be pretty useful for this. Firstly, so we'll set this to the vibrato like that, and what we'll do is we'll set the rate here on the oscillator tab just to before 1 o'clock, and the depth we'll leave down the bottom, and then we'll take the macro 1 and we'll just take it up to about just after 9 o'clock, and for the rate we'll take that up just a little bit so it runs through to about 2. So now when we press, if we use the macro if we use the macro controls, we kind of get that sound. It's got to be quite precise on it. And we should also set the decay there like that. So yeah, we can just kind of play around with that to get a good sound. What we also need to do, which is why the sound's probably sounding a little bit odd at the moment, is we'll set the macro 2 to the attack here. Can't spell. To the attack, and then we're going to pop that on envelope 2's decay, and then we'll run it up like that. So now when we move, we can control the attack, which gives a different sort of variation on the. Let's go take that vibrato down a minute. So we're controlling sort of how much attack comes in. Yeah, so that's about it really. I'll make the patch downloadable as usual in the description. The link will be there. I've kind of fine-tuned that, so if you want to download that and then have a look at it, or just follow along the tutorial and see what you can make of it. Yeah, so don't forget to check out my website pavvel.co.uk, and the new BASSMUSIQUE.com, which is also linked below, which contains a whole bunch of tutorials and stuff, something I've set up. And if you like this tutorial, then hit like, share it, subscribe to me, and if you like what I do, I'll keep doing it and keep bringing you more stuff. So cheers, I'll see you in the next video.